What's going on, guys? It's Kyle here, and today we're going to talk about something so exciting, and that's how to save more money. But first, before we get into that, if you guys don't remember, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before the end of 2020. So do your part, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll find out. So guys, let's jump into it. So I have written down 8 ways that you can start saving more money in 2020 or 2021 whenever you watch this. And these are actually some ways that my wife and I actually implement in our life. And so I highly recommend that maybe you take away some of these. But first, before you do that, do you even track your spending as it is? This is something that we have found so important, when we have gone through our finances and we pick up stuff, we start to see patterns when we track it. So about once a month, we'll sit down and we'll go through our credit card statement, we'll go through our bank account, and then she will enter into a spreadsheet exactly where our money is going. And so we can see, what categories are we spending the most money in. So the last one I'm going to share with you guys is actually my personal favorite, and if you guys know me, you're probably going to already guess this, but you guys got to stick around to the end of the video to hear what I'm going to say about that. But number one, the first thing we're going to talk about is eating out. Guys, how much money are you spending on eating out? Because the Bureau of Statistics found in 2020 or 2019, I guess, when the study was done, the average household spends $3,000 a year, not a month, on eating out. I don't know about you guys, but that's a lot of money. You could probably find some better uses for that. Now, I know it's convenient to go out to eat. That includes, fast food restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, and all that. But guys, start preparing food at home. My wife and I have started to, more or less meal prep. Actually, I should say my wife does all this. I don't do any of it myself, but she'll meal prep for us for the whole week. We'll be able to just put a large, casserole or something like that, like do a bunch of chicken at once, put it in the refrigerator, and then during the week we can take it for lunch, and we end up saving so much money from this. I will say, however, if we look at our budget, our food budget, it's actually pretty high because we do like to eat relatively healthy. She's much healthier than I am, but we do spend quite a bit on food just because, that's something that we're willing to spend more on, for good quality. All right, guys, this second one's maybe a little bit hard to swallow. I'm actually a hypocrite when it comes to this one because I'm breaking my own rule. I have car payments. So number 2 is downgrade your car. I drive a Subaru Outback and I still make payments on it, approximately $300 every single month. And really, I should probably pay that off and drive something that doesn't have payments, that I could pay for with cash. So the reason why I went with my car when I did was I was a realtor and I was driving a ton of miles every single day, really, and I needed something reliable. I was driving an older car that wasn't reliable, that was breaking down, and so I was actually spending quite a bit of money on repairs and maintenance. However, I know that I could easily go and sell it now. I don't owe a ton of money on it anymore. I could go sell it and I could buy a cheap, Honda Civic, something like that would be super reliable, and I would be saving that $300 every single month. So guys, look around at what you're driving. Do you really need it? Also, I used to drive my first vehicle was a Denali Yukon with rims. Maybe I'll throw a picture of it up on the screen here, but it looked kind of like a drug dealer's car. But I drove that thing and was getting like 11 miles per gallon, super inefficient. And then I had a truck after that also was getting like 10, 11 miles per gallon. So maybe look at also, if you're spending a lot of time on the road, maybe you should buy something that's super fuel efficient. Your driving expenses are very, costly at the end of the year. Also, before you purchase a car, do some research on the annual cost to run this vehicle. I'll go back to like a Honda Civic, they're or a Toyota Camry. Those kind of cars are very cheap to fix because there's so many of them, and they're also just so well built that you're probably not going to spend a lot of money on the repairs and maintenance. All right, the third one we're going to talk about is use more reusable items. A lot of us, especially in America, I don't know why this is, but we seem like we're such a throwaway nation. It's when I lived alone, I did this. I bought a big Tupperware or a big box of plastic spoons and forks, and every time I'd eat something, I'd throw it away and buy a new box. And guys, it's so much more affordable in the long run if you stop buying paper plates and the plastic spoons and stuff like that, and just buy something that you're going to use over and over and over. Hold on one second, I'm gonna go grab something. All right guys, so these bad boys right here, these are from Walmart and they're $1 a piece, and we use these every single day. They're plastic, they're super durable. I love using these things, and it's so much cheaper than buying new plates, or not new plates, but paper plates every single time. So especially if you're a bachelor and you don't like to do dishes, you just got to get used to it because you're going to spend so much money on it in the long term. Another thing that I use over and over and over is gallon plastic jugs. So I try to drink a gallon of water every single day. I've been failing at it recently. However, instead of filling up water bottles, buying a pack of water bottles, buy one plastic bottle that you can reuse over and over and over. All right, number 4, this is a big one, and this is cancel subscriptions you don't need. I know that there's services out there that will somehow scrub all your information and they find out how many things you're paying for every single month. I've never done that because I don't pay for a whole lot, but I do pay for things like Spotify. We used to pay for Netflix, and there are so many other things that you're probably paying for, like Apple storage or iCloud storage or whatever it is. But go through all of your subscriptions and find out which ones maybe you can cancel. If you pay for Netflix, maybe you can find someone that you guys can either like go in on one account with and share, a username and password. I'm not sure if that's legal. Or Spotify, there's things like family sharing where you don't each have to pay for your own account. You can just, do one account. So look into that because I think that a lot of people, they just see the convenience of all these subscriptions and they forget that they add up. And I think you'd be shocked. You're probably spending 50, 60, 70 bucks a month on these subscriptions that you probably really don't need. All right, you guys are probably gonna laugh at this one. I think we're on number 5, but I said wear the same clothes over and over and over. I don't necessarily mean like actually wear this same exact shirt every single day, but I more or less mean buy more than one of them. You can spend a ton of time on shopping every single year. Well, why not instead find a shirt that you like, which this one I love, and then buy like 4 or 5 pairs of it. So if you notice in all my videos, scroll back through my thumbnails and you'll see that I'm pretty much wearing the same exact clothes over and over and over. So this shirt right here, it's from Express, so it's a good shirt, it's good quality. However, I found the good fit that I like, and then I went and bought 4 pairs. I have this in green, red, this color, and then one other color. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But my point is, you're gonna save a lot of money every single year by just saving time, really. And also, it's just more efficient. Every single morning when you wake up, you don't have to decide, oh, what am I gonna wear today? These colors match with anything, so you just, throw it on, you don't have to think about it, and you spend a lot less time shopping every single year. All right, these next 2 we're gonna go through really quick. So number 6 is make your own coffee. Stop paying $3 or $4 every single time you go to Starbucks for a cup of coffee. Invest in a nice espresso machine. Sure, it's going to cost $500 or $600 up front. However, I guarantee you in the long run, it's going to save you a ton of money. I have 2 lattes every single day that would probably cost $4 to $5 from Starbucks. I make it at home myself. It's super convenient. I don't have to leave. I don't have to spend money on gas to get there. And so if I added that up, it would have paid off that machine a long time ago. So start making your own coffee. All right, so the 7th one we're gonna talk about is saving money automatically. Okay, so I used to have this set up with my Roth IRA account where it would automatically pull money straight from my checking to the Roth IRA account. Now, when it did that, I always made sure I had enough money in my checking account so that it wouldn't, be overbalance or overdraft or whatever it's called. And I found that, by having that set up automatically, I just always did my best to keep my spending, down enough to where I always had enough in the account. Now, when I canceled that, it's just like in the back of my mind, I would tell myself, oh, I'll deposit the money into my TD Ameritrade account when I have the money. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. And the same goes with saving. If you every single month, go to your bank and set up an automatic transfer of, $50, $100, $200 every single month into your savings account, it's going to force you to save money, which is going to ultimately reduce your spending because If you don't have the money in your checking account to spend, you're not going to spend it. Alright guys, so if you stuck around to the end of the video and you're here for this one, drop a comment below that you actually made it this far. I appreciate you. And if you guys know me, you probably already guessed what this is going to be. And it is house hacking. So, your living expenses probably by far the most expensive thing you pay for annually. I would say the average rent in the US is probably like $1,000 to $1,200 a month. And your mortgage payment, if you own a home, is probably going to be, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 1,000, something like that, every single month. So it's definitely a big cost. If you guys can reduce that, why wouldn't you? So if you're renting and you can't buy a house right now, maybe you don't have good credit, or maybe you're not in a location where you want to stay long term, maybe you could look at renting out one of the rooms. If you rent like a 2-bedroom apartment, have a buddy move in with you and he'll pay you, $300, $400, $500 a month, and that's greatly going to reduce your living expense. So I actually did this with my first house in St. Louis, Missouri. It was actually a duplex. I had a tenant live in one side and they were paying pretty much the whole mortgage. And then I had roommates that rented the 2 other bedrooms in my unit from me, and they were paying like, $600 or $700 total. And that was pretty much covering all the utilities. So maybe you guys can look at that if you are renting. You don't have to own the place, just try to rent out the bedrooms if possible. Now, if you guys already own your own home, you can obviously do the same thing, but if you don't and you're looking to buy something, I highly, highly recommend you go and buy something like a duplex, a 3-unit, a 4-unit, something that you can still take advantage of the low down payment loans. So anything over 5 units, you're gonna have to get a commercial mortgage on, and that's typically gonna require 20 to 25% down. However, if you're buying a 1 to 4 unit property, you can qualify for an owner-occupant loan, and you may only have to put 3.5 to 5% down. So if you're buying, a $100,000 property, you're only going to need, $5 grand, maybe a little bit more to purchase that. And so once you do, take for instance this property that we're in right now. So it's a 4-unit property. My wife and I live in 1 unit, and then we rent out the other units, and those other units cover the cost of the mortgage. That saves us a ton of money. Not only that, if we were renting this house where the unit that we're in, we'd be paying $1,000 to $1,200 a month to rent this. We don't pay anything. They pay it for us. The only thing that we pay is our utilities. So that keeps our expenses extremely low, and it gives us so much freedom and flexibility to travel and spend money on other things. Alright guys, well hopefully that added some sort of value to your lives. I hope that you can work on reducing your spending. Again, I highly recommend that you first chart your spending. Figure out where your money is going to begin with, because it's going to start to identify areas that you can really cut back on. For me, when I was single, it was definitely the eating out. I hated preparing food. I never did it myself. So I'd always be eating out and spending a ton of money on that. So maybe that's something you could look into too. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.